What a night yesterday was. I'm not even gonna talk about it. We're moving on. I was looking through topics to talk about today, and I know the H3 Keem thing has really been beaten on this channel, but there is still more to talk about regarding the two, and a question that needs to really be asked. Is H3 calling for the deplatforming of KEEMSTAR? Now, in the past, I have called H3 a flagger on my Twitter account. Looking back on it, perhaps I was getting a little bit too ahead of myself. I called him that based off of circumstantial, not direct evidence. And even looking at the circumstantial evidence, perhaps I was, you know, maybe again, like I said, a little too ahead of myself. It's whatever. But the thing with H3 is that he'll say things that lead you in a direction, but you're not exactly there yet. But he'll say more things that are just like, you know, it leads you to wonder, it leads you to question things like, is H3 calling for the deplatforming of KEEMSTAR? Because I can't say that for sure, but it kind of seems like that's what he wants or is implying, but you gotta be careful with implications on YouTube. He could be talking about something completely different. It just leads to a whole series of questions and not a lot of answers. So the other day, H3 tweeted, he said, KEEMSTAR is at it again, reporting on extremely serious sexual assault allegations. Remember that we as a community are allowing him to continue to ruin people's lives. For example, the pic of Tom in his thumbnail is from him crying that a Make-A-Wish child had passed on. What the fuck? And yeah, it's true, KEEMSTAR was reporting on the same thing that I reported on myself, the Pro Syndicate situation where he was accused of sexual abuse by Zombie Unicorn as well as his ex-girlfriend Caitlin Witcher. KEEMSTAR, of course, covered that as well, being the biggest drama news channel. That's kind of what he had to talk about that particular day. And again, it is true that, you know, the thumbnail does depict Syndicate crying, and that, you know, the source video where he is crying is a very serious video. But if you simply look up Tom Syndicate crying on Google, it's exactly the same image that that shows up in the Keem thumbnail, you see? So he probably just searched out, you know, Syndicate crying for a good thumbnail, and then he just used this image. I mean, that makes sense to me. You can even see in Keem's thumbnail where he edited the picture so that this YouTube logo doesn't show up, adding further proof that he probably just looked up Tom Syndicate crying instead of just, you know, using like, ooh, let me just use that one picture from the one video where he's crying about the Make-A-Wish kid. Like, I don't think that was KEEMSTAR's mindset, and I don't even think it really matters. I should continue to write here. He has proven he is not responsible to report on any such matter, as his clear bias, inability to do thorough research, and willingness to lie to create drama makes him an incredibly dangerous force on YouTube. KEEMSTAR is a threat to the YouTube ecosystem. He is circumventing the safeguards by spelling rape as rape with a 4 in it. This is the tweet right here that has me really questioning if H3 wants Keem kicked off, because he's literally getting mad that KEEMSTAR put rape with a 4 in the title so that it wouldn't get suppressed by the algorithm. Who wouldn't? If you're going to talk about something and you know one of the keywords you have to put in the title could get your channel in trouble, of course you would modify the word a little bit so that your channel wouldn't be put at risk. I mean, KEEMSTAR already has got that 2-week suspension from the YouTube partner program. He's very, he's on thin ice on YouTube's end, so of course he's going to be as careful as possible. How is this even a point against him? Everyone does this. Is he arguing that KEEMSTAR should be punished by YouTube for circumventing the system or whatever? Even that word, circumventing, implies that H3 thinks he's doing something he shouldn't be. You can see the replies here. A buddy of mine, a mutual that I follow on Twitter, Bill Baines, he wrote, Ethan, I can't believe you didn't put child pornography allegations in your video titles. You were circumventing the YouTube safeguarding system, showing his, you know, conversations on the whole ProJared situation, which H3 did admit in his response to Gokunaro that he has gotten facts wrong on his podcast before. In fact, he refused to watch Gokunaro's Chapter 8 that goes more into detail on H3's misinformation he shared on his podcast. So if Keem can't talk about things anymore because he's made mistakes in the past, so can Ethan. But I guess Ethan can get away with it because he doesn't label himself as a news source, as if that really means anything. It's just an arbitrary term YouTubers use to describe themselves. You don't get special privileges because you call yourself a news channel or not. Even Comment Cop wrote here, says, Keem has definitely butchered allegation stories before, but this isn't one of those times. Ethan then went on Twitter and shared this video. KEEMSTAR thinks sexual assault is entertainment.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am completely fucking pissed. I was gonna write a script for this video, and I just figured I just need to talk. I just need to fucking talk. Basher was arrested for apparently trying to have sex with. That is.
And then
he would grab.
he just goes on to show 2016, 2017, 2018. I'm pretty sure this is an extended cut from one of his videos that he'd done on KEEMSTAR, where he shows all the times that KEEMSTAR has talked about stories of this degree of seriousness. He then shares a 7-second clip here.
Stop being mad at me, goddammit! I'm creating the goddamn entertainment. I'm creating the shit for you to talk about on a goddamn Monday night.
Sexual assault equals entertainment. So he's really hung up on this point that this is a problem. Now, the solution for this problem, which would seem to be just outright censorship, Ethan never outlines. He never says what should be done about this problem, which leads me to question, is he for censorship or getting Keem deplatformed, which it kind of really seems like that, or is he just arguing for some other obscure solution that's not outright censorship, but I don't know what it would be because he never says it. Like, this is the problem here. This is the issue. We never get a clear response from Ethan, and again, it goes much deeper into the problems that people have with H3. He's not clear, he's not specific, he's very sneaky with how he, describes things. He's been described as a snake by KEEMSTAR for years now, and people are seeing why. People are realizing exactly why. Nick writes in the comments here, this Onision segment is just as out of context as it was the first time you posted this. Here's a conversation he had with actually Sky Does Minecraft that I thought was pretty interesting. So he writes, he says, hey, Adam, and then he adds Sky Does Minecraft. He says, I'm curious if you've ever corrected the record on this claim, showing an old tweet from KEEMSTAR where Sky Does Minecraft says, at Bashverse, and that's all I needed. Brandon, you're fucking lying. You sat on my back porch and confessed to relations with a 13-year-old. Adam says, ages ago, try again. Somebody writes, this dude is literally bringing up a post that happened 4 or 5 years ago. He is just trying to make another video for some easy ad revenue. Sky Does Minecraft says, it's almost like Ethan's the type to use a suicide victim against his family's wishes. Him and Ethan actually had a pretty lengthy dialogue, too, where H3 writes, oh, okay, I couldn't find it. I'm not trying anything, was just curious. From what I can tell, this is where the rumor began, and a lot of people still think he's a pedophile based on this comment. Sky Does Minecraft wrote, I really want you to make this mistake. Continue. Ethan wrote back, would you mind showing me where you corrected the record? I can't find it. Thank you. Sky Does Minecraft wrote, nope, because I'm not going to let you use 5-year-old drama to bring back issues that cause both me and Brandon mental health problems for your 5 seconds of internet clout. Watch Gamer from Mars and you'd understand the rumor never started from me but another YouTuber. Get a hobby. Referencing the Gamer from Mars documentary that he recently did on the Bashverse situation, which was a pretty good video. I recommend watching that, but that's besides the point. Ethan writes, I've seen that video. I find his narrative a little questionable since him and KEEMSTAR are friends, but it's fine. I'll try to piece things together. Thank you. Sorry, did not intend to upset. Just genuinely curious. Best. Sky Does Minecraft writes back, thank you for taking it up upon yourself, especially after clearing nothing about it. Definitely not an Etika move again, sticking your ego where it doesn't belong. Ethan wrote back, you're definitely right, I don't know enough about it. It's pretty difficult to untangle everything in that story. That's why I'm asking, trying to figure it out. No worries, thanks again. Sky Does Minecraft wrote, maybe figure out your own story before working on others. Food for thought. Ethan wrote back, okay, I'll think about that again. Thanks again. Sky Does Minecraft wrote again, saying, one more thing. When speaking about narratives, I will ask how come you used my debate with KEEMSTAR about mental health on Twitter that we resolved as primary data for narrative building in your videos. That was a question aching for some time as the person involved. Ethan wrote back, sure, it showed his pattern of disregarding mental health regardless of the resolution you guys have between each other. Cheers. Sky Does Minecraft writes back, what about you disregarding Etika's family and loved ones' mental health? What about mine by using my story and ghosting me completely? What about Brandon's by bringing up unfinished while you're having trouble solving it drama? Do you see the pattern? I wish you would. Showing a meme saying patterns don't lie. Sincerely, the universe. Ethan wrote back, I'm sorry, I'm afraid I didn't understand the question. Sky Does Minecraft writes back, this makes me sad, Ethan, even if I don't show it as sadness. You're not seeing the damage you are inadvertently causing to those who've lived the lives you're constantly bringing up because you didn't live it personally. You are a catalyst as well, and you need to stop, please. Ethan wrote back, I think you could probably do more to help Basher out if you are worried about the negative effects of all the drama. Just my 2 cents. He lost literally everything. Still, I'm sorry about the rough time you've gone through. The internet is cruel. Best. Sky Does Minecraft writes back saying, like I said, you don't know the story and you're sticking your head where it doesn't belong. How are you to say I could do more? I was actually there. Helps build the man's career up. You're just bandwagon hopping. I did what I could, behind the scenes. He burned that bridge. Stop stirring. Ethan says, if you have any information I'm missing, then I'd be happy to hear it. That was the original purpose of this conversation. You can DM me if you want to convey privately. And then Adam says, sure, call my phone. Ethan, I'll DM it to you. The point of me showing you guys this conversation that probably a lot of you missed if you're not on Twitter or if you just didn't read this long-ass thread is Ethan's refusal to get it and how YouTubers are beginning to see it and get fed up by Ethan's bullshit and how he's bringing up all these stories that fucked people up for, points in his KEEMSTAR video that he can just take out of context and use to deplatform somebody that he doesn't like. I don't know too much about the Adam story, obviously, aside from what I saw in the Gamer from Mars video, but the Etika stuff was really what, rubbed people the wrong way, seeing him use a dead man, bring him out of the grave, on the 1-year anniversary of his death to win back a petty argument against KEEMSTAR. And here he is using these sexual assault stories, you could say, to get back at KEEMSTAR again and to get him deplatformed, ? It just paints a pretty negative picture for Ethan here. And I understand some of Ethan's frustration when literally the whole internet will jump on him for every single little thing he does. But to Ethan, I would simply ask him, why do you think that's the way it is? Why do you think people always jump on you so much? It's because they're sick of it. They're sick of the act. They're sick of the gimmick. And they want to get it through your skull what exactly their problems with you are. Ethan, if you watch this video, and I know you've watched my content before and you've interacted with me on Twitter recently, hit me up if you want to do a podcast with me because I'd love to have a conversation with you. Other than that, that's all I got for this video. My name's UFC. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out, everyone.